I'm Vikie Shanks. I'm a writer, a speaker, and a campaigner. I was asked to write my life story a couple of years ago, which I did, and it's called Unravelled. I'm now in the process of writing the second book, which will be out soon. I'm also writing a book on autism because my husband committed suicide 7.5 years ago, and I have 7 children. 6 of them are on the autistic spectrum, the 7th is dyslexic, and the 2 youngest also have cerebral palsy. So I'm passionate about an awful lot of things, including mental health, autism, general special needs amongst children, inspiring people to believe they can do more than they think they can do, motivating people to feel they can actually do something when they think they can't. And I would love to be able to speak at your conference or help you in any way you feel I might be able to. Thank you for watching.
In the studio with me now is Vikie Shanks. Vikie has had first-hand experience of mental health problems within her family, and we're talking specifically about your husband, Paul.
I knew he was mentally very ill. I knew he needed help, but my suggestion to him to get help, because of his mental illness, he wouldn't go and get that help. And there's no facility when someone is over the age of consent. There's no facility for a family member or a friend to do an independent referral for someone to be, if you like, highlighted to a GP or a doctor that maybe they should look at whether there's something that needs to be dealt with, because in public he was the perfect guy and appeared to be perfectly okay, but behind closed doors those issues were very, very apparent, and he was very abusive.
He ended his own life. You had
Sadly,
to live with the consequences of that, and you had a big family, you guys,
Yes.
seven children as well. How did you begin to pick up the pieces?
Bit by bit. It was a very, very slow process because 6 of my children are on the autistic spectrum. Death is a very abstract thing. Children on the autistic spectrum, well, anybody, finds it very hard to understand death because the memories are still in their head, but the person isn't there anymore. So whilst to you and I, death is a finality and we understand it, for them it's very difficult. And my youngest was only 6 and my eldest was 16 when he died. So very hard to get their heads around, and also very hard for them to understand why he would have left them.
Well, what needs to be done? We were talking earlier about suggestions, and I think you may be open to this, about some sort of ID card to help people realise this person has their own specific problems here.
Absolutely right. The other thing I think should be in place is a secure database that the police can access or the emergency services can access, where anybody with a diagnosis is on the database with their point of contact, what their difficulties are. So at least if they are picked up by the police have some point of reference to start from, so they can look at that and say, okay, this person suffers from schizophrenia, we know this is a more appropriate way to deal with them, or this person is autistic, we need to tread a different ground. But at least it would give them a basis.
So I suppose that love and that care drives you as well to say, look, I hope there are going to be more people like me out there, more people who are going to be receptive.
Yes, absolutely. But I still think there's a huge lack of awareness generally. And I don't just mean in this country, I mean, you know, worldwide, because mental health issues are totally hidden. You can't see them unless the behaviour kicks in.
So until we get mental health and physical health treated in exactly the same way.
That's absolutely right.
My name's Vikie Showreel. I'm a mum. I'm very proud to be a mum. That's my main job in life. I'm also an author. I've written a memoir about my life, and my second memoir will be out sometime next year. And I was asked to write the story of my life, which I didn't think anybody would want to read, but I was assured by my agent that they would. I have 7 children. Of my 7 children, 6 are on the autistic spectrum, ranging from quite severe to very mild. The other one is severely dyslexic, because she didn't want to be missed out, I think. And the 2 youngest ones also have cerebral palsy. And when my husband died 7 years ago and left me with the 7 children, to say life was interesting and very busy would be putting it mildly. But I have to say that everything's fantastic, it's all come around. We're doing very, very well, the children are fabulous, and I love them to bits, and I wouldn't change anything. I'm in the process of writing another book on autism. My publisher has asked me to write another book on bringing up teenagers. I'm not quite sure about that one. Whether I'm qualified to write that one, I don't know if anyone's qualified to write a book about bringing up teenagers, but I'll give it a bash.
Vikie is a single mother of not just a couple of kids, but of 7 children. What's more, 6 of them have autism, 2 also have cerebral palsy, and the only child without autism is dyslexic. Vikie says watching her children's development as they find their way in the world has been absolutely magical. We think, Vikie, the magic lies with you.
At the beginning of this year, I started an autism support group called Autism One-on-One because I was meeting so many parents who had newly diagnosed children or people whose partners were autistic, people who were struggling because someone in their life was on the autism spectrum and they didn't know how to do the best for them, how to help them to make the most of their lives. I want to raise awareness of what autism really is, because it isn't what people perceive it to be. It's people who are high functioning, appear to be okay, but actually are struggling so much. And I've watched my children struggle so badly and still struggle now with all kinds of things that you and I can't imagine how it affects them. And if I can make one more person understand what they're going through and how we can help them in such tiny ways, it doesn't take a lot to help them get through their lives and achieve the incredible potential they have. And they really do have the most incredible potential. So if I can do one thing over the next few years, if I can do anything to raise awareness for the autistic community and make their lives better, then that's what I want to do. And as far as this week...
And the winner of the Carer Award is Vikie Shanks.
Our judges were touched by this nomination from Vikie's children and admired her determination and drive. When faced with adversity, Vikie has found the strength to carry on when others would have simply given up.
And I really don't know what to say except that I have 7 amazing children who I absolutely adore, whilst I'm very humbled and very honoured to receive this award, and I really am absolutely gobsmacked. I'd like to accept this award on behalf of all the carers everywhere who do the most amazing, unselfish job